This is probably the most significant ransomware attack on one of our critical infrastructures ever.
To the Northeast, it was hit with a ransomware attack.
What the company is calling an organized cyber attack on its information system.
The Internet Computer Project has long directed its funding into a huge R&D effort, strong in the belief that for Web3 to mainstream, it must deliver things that radically exceed the realm of speculation enabled by tokens, say. True decentralization of tech involves any person being able to create running custom web applications and internet services, Web3 functionality, and AI, simply by issuing natural language instructions and then being able to update them in real time by issuing more natural language instructions. This is a new paradigm, and it's the future of tech. An individual user will be able to create and update a personal branding website and blog, or a wedding planner, or a game to share with friends. An entrepreneur without funds and technical skills who perhaps lives in an emerging market will be able to use nothing but their phone to create a sharing economy internet service with Web3 rails.
The capabilities and limitations AI is going to have on the web, especially with autonomous AI applications, this is the distinction to make. ICP has an embedded system architecture. Web 2 has an integrated system architecture. And here's why that matters. Transparency, security, governance, interoperability, payments, verifiability, ownership, identity, flexibility. These are all inherent properties to software systems built on ICP. On Web 2, things like security, payments, identity, interoperability, you need other systems, other software systems integrated into your application or software platform. Oftentimes, these are owned and controlled by other centralized companies. Over the years, what's happened is this has just caused web complexity to explode.
By 2025, cybercrime globally could amount to $10.5 trillion. The head of insurance giant Chubb says it could get worse.
We're in a situation now where most IT professionals, cybersecurity professionals, people that work at enterprise software, all they're doing is chasing complexity. This only makes the $10 trillion cybercrime problem that much worse. And when you add AI to the mix, it creates tons of risks, but also tons of limitations with AI. This ties into what Vitalik was talking about here recently, dependency, minimalism. Writing software that deliberately tries to have as few dependencies as practical is a really underrated virtue, in my opinion. So at this point, the application itself has already been built with the AI model. And at that point, you need an AI model capable of managing, updating, and modifying the application, modifying the user interface, adding new features, removing certain features, customizing it down to the end user level. That's the type of functionality we're talking about right now. Not just building the application, but the ongoing maintenance, updating everything else. All right, because you need that for autonomous AI-powered services and applications running the web. But if you don't have the web framework that can support that, like just think about, let's say, 1 billion people on the web regularly prompting their AI model to make changes to their custom application or their custom website. And as this is happening, institutions, businesses are also doing the same thing because they want different changes made so they can customize it more for their own needs. Look at all the different types of systems and centralized companies that AI is going to be tied into, trying to manage all these different applications and services autonomously. It's too much crossover, it's too much complexity. You need a flexible model for artificial intelligence in order to do that. ICP has the most flexible model that exists on Earth. You can only get so efficient and you can only consolidate and simplify to a certain degree on Web 2. There is no fix for this. You can't add anything on top of an overly complex web architecture to make it more simple. It's just going to make it more and more complex. And that's all that's been happening over the years. We have 7 layers of cybersecurity at this point. And cybersecurity alone and the 7 layers of cybersecurity don't even cover all the different complexity involved in any given web-based application. There's no point in comparing any type of Web 2-based thing to something on ICP because the properties of software on ICP are drastically different because it's all beneath the surface. Looking at the user interface is not going to tell you even most of the story. It's all behind the user interface. This is why looking beneath the surface is so important, because you're talking about the full end-to-end capabilities at scale for artificial intelligence on the web. So when it comes to ICP, behind the surface, you have the most flexible model because they've solved for everything in one solution. Think of the Bitcoin value proposition that the Bitcoiners make. Don't trust, verify. It's the same exact concept on the web. We don't have really any verifiability on our web. Moving from a trust-based web, where even institutions have to just trust that their service providers aren't screwing them over the same way we do. And we just need to give up all rights and ownership to our data. Moving from that to a 100% truth-based web, where there's built-in verifiability on different levels, different truth layers, will transform the world in ways that I can't even imagine.